Hey everybody, welcome to Gaming Golf, the post-British Open edition. Jeff Erickson here with Scott Jenstad and Jeff Ritter from Morning Read /SI Golf. Gentlemen, good job last week. Jenstad, you nailed Colin Morikawa. Jeff, you nailed Jordan Spieth. It's a good week. I just sat in a convention in a hallway in Vegas and just watched the brilliance.
Hopefully you placed a few tickets while you were in Vegas.
Oh, I'm such a dumbass. No, I didn't. I was going to put one on Morikawa too, but I don't get credit for the gonna.
I'm almost personally offended that you were in Vegas. I was that adamant and you didn't go run down to the counter. There's some level of insult there that I need to take.
Yeah, you should. And it's normally you should be insulted by me, but that's okay.
I had one ticket. I placed a few DraftKings games last week, and I had one just for the fun of it. I threw Jenstad and our two picks on one ticket. I did the Spieth Morikawa combo, and I stupidly put it on a game where it was just a double up game for $5, and now for $5 entry. So I was like, this is my best ticket. I had a few others that did well, but this was one where I was like 25th place out of however many tens of thousands of people. I was like, this would be very exciting to win $5 if I was in 7th grade, but it's not.
Right.
Yeah. That was like a lineup that I would have loved to have moved anywhere else. I'm never going to play the double up games again on DraftKings. That one just slipped right through, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. But
I was telling Jeff Erickson, we were doing the baseball podcast, I don't think we're going to see Morikawa over 30-1 in a major for many, many years. It's not. It ain't coming again.
Yeah, it isn't, and it's too bad. It will be hard pressed to find him less than 30-1 in any tournament, I would guess.
I think so too. I think that I think those days are gone for a little bit unless he has some sort of slump. But it's just 8 majors, 2 wins, 3 other top 10s, and he's just one of those guys that when he gets there, he actually closes the door and can win. I mean, he played really well on Sunday.
He sure did, and we've had a really awesome stretch of majors. I mean, You think about it. We had Rahm get his first. We had Morikawa get a second, and brilliance over the weekend, starting on Friday, and he was even good on Thursday. But we've had Phil, who he's not at the top of his game by any means, but he's obviously capable of winning a major and brand name and all that. And then Hideki breaking through, which was also a really fun story. Maybe not the same star power as the other guys, but still a very fun story. And we've had really good majors lately. And you go back to Bryson last year and Morikawa in San Francisco last year. I mean, we've had some really good ones.
We had 7 majors in 12 months. It's been really, really fun.
We've been spoiled. Now we've got to wait a while for the next one. But
we do.
It has been a fun and crowded golf sprint, really, post-COVID. So,
but you don't treat the FedEx Cup playoffs with the same sort of reverence as you do these majors, like the PGA Tour does, though. That's the problem, guys. But and it's okay. Let's jump right into the pageantry that is the 3M Open. It could have been a horrible field. It's not that horrible. It's actually okay.
Yeah, surprisingly, there's some star power at the top of this thing. I was expecting a wasteland, when I went to kind of check it out on Monday afternoon, but not bad. You got DJ, you got Louis licking his wounds and flying over to Minnesota to try to maybe figure it out. Patrick Reed, Finau. I mean, there's some guys that are at the top that are interesting, and frankly, I'm surprised as many of them are in this one as have entered. So,
right,
yeah, it's not deep, but I was surprised too by the top like 8 or 10 names. We actually got some intrigue here, and I think that it really makes it fun because all those guys we may like in the middle get pushed down the odds too. If DJ and Louis and Tony weren't there, all of a sudden all these guys are 25-1. So we get some 60-1s on some guys that I really like. So it's really key that those big guys are there to help out with value.
For sure. Let's jump right into it. Hit the top tier. As always, going by DraftKings prices. 4 guys in 5 digits this week instead of the usual 5. But DJ's at 11.3. He's always the top price guy, even with the lack of big time results this year. Louis at 10.9. Tony Finau at 10.7, and Patrick Reed finally getting the respect this man deserves at 10.3. What do you like in this group? Jeff Ritter, say you.
It's tempting to pick one of these, because I mean, like Scott said, there's a lot of value pushed down, but I still think there's just enough star power here where I think it's smart to pick one. Louis from Narrative Street is the most compelling story of just how does he pull himself together. Statistically, he profiles really well for this course. Michael Thompson, defending champion, he's really a putting machine. That's how he makes his money on tour, and that's how he won this thing last time it was staged. So Louis leads the tour in putting. So, even without the scar tissue, of last weekend, you might say he'd be one of your favorites. So it's really just, what does he have left after such an emotional, and exhausting weekend? So I would, having said that, DJ's tempting because he got so much, he finished so strong over at the Open. But I actually, out of this group, I like Patrick Reed the most, even though he missed the cut at the Open. He comes over a little more fresh. I think he's kind of a putting and scrambling and just kind of shot making type of profile, and he's not afraid to go low. I guess that's the other thing, is this is shaping up, warm weekend in Minnesota, par 71 kind of stock course. There'll be a lot of birdies out there. So out of everybody, I would actually lean Reed with the DraftKings lineup.
Let me ask a narrative question for a narrative guy. Does Louis have a Sunday problem?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's too many. It's too much of a trend now, and I don't know that it's even. People made a big deal about him not winning on the PGA Tour in so long. He has won other events around the world. It just hasn't necessarily connected for him the PGA Tour, but. I mean, there's something different that happens with him on these Sundays at a major, and he's played just incredibly well to lead the thing after 3 rounds, but things are just different for him on Sundays. So
he doesn't collapse. He doesn't like 2019 Jordan Spieth it or anything, but he has faltered in clutch moments. Go back to the team tournament in New Orleans, right? Had that push into the water in the playoff hole, and that's the sort of thing I think of there.
I think this week is a really good opportunity for him, not just to dust himself off, but to me, it just seems like he's a guy that needs to contend more on Sundays. Like, we don't really hear from him a lot, except in these majors. And so maybe going out and winning the 3M Open this week would do a lot for him the next time he's, at the top of leaderboard on Sunday at a big tournament, because he's just not really in contention a lot otherwise. The whole thing is new, and the heart rate and all those feelings that you experience under the gun, and it's a really good opportunity for him this week. But it wouldn't be shocking if he's just exhausted and misses the cut at the same time, just given everything that happened last week.
Scott, you've been waiting patiently. What you want to weigh in on Louis or anything in this tier?
Just in the tier. I mean, the Louis problem is tough. I mean, I think you said what I was going to say, that he doesn't really collapse. I mean, Morikawa went and won that tournament. Rahm, birdieing 17 and 18 at Torrey, won that tournament. And Louis birdied 18 and finished a stroke back. But we're talking this week. I agree with Jeff that I think you want one guy from this tier. There are a lot of guys in the 7,000s that I like. So I think I'm going to take one guy up here and get him in. My guy this week is going to be DJ. I just think this is a good course for him. I think it's a bomber's course. He's going to hit the ball far. I think he lines up well here. Hasn't played his best, but like we say that, it's kind of like when we talk about Rory not playing his best, but he's still top 25 the last 4 weeks, coming off a top 10 at the British. I think this is a really good setup for him. The key to him is whether he's motivated. I assume once he tees it up and he's there, he's going to be motivated. I mean, maybe he starts slowly and doesn't really try and get back into it. But I think that him showing up, he's going to want to be motivated, want to play. Last year he had to withdraw from this event, so maybe that helps him a little bit too. Maybe he feels like he wants some redemption here. I think it's 11-3. I can fit him in this week, and he's going to be my guy at the top.
It's got a little bit of Palmetto feel to this here, where he, compared to the rest of the field, he's a pretty big name.
And he probably should have won that tournament on Sunday, but he's kind of down the back nine. I know you have some issues there because DJ's on your fantasy team, but it feels very much like that to me. And I think of the guys at the top, I think I worry a little bit about Louis, a little bit of hangover and coming back over, and just it's been a really weird month and a half for him of doing really, really well but not getting it done. I think I'm going DJ up here.
Do either of you have a word to say about Mr. Finau?
We're waiting. I've reached the point where I'm going to be too late rather than too early.
I love Tony Finau, but I'm not going to bet him. I'm going to bet him. It's going to be at big events where he's like 35-1, not weeks where he's 14-1 when he doesn't win. And he played really well at the Open. He just plays well at majors, but he missed 2 cuts before that. I don't think the form's there, and I think the price and the betting value is just not there this week.
I'd agree with that. Let's move on to the next tier. Sergio Garcia at 99, Matthew Wolff at 97, Cameron Tringale at 9,500. It's kind of an off-brand tournament when he's that expensive. Emiliano Grillo plays well at the British, but not when we want him to play well at 93. Cam Davis 92, Bubba Watson 91, and Bobby Mack at 9,000. Scott, we'll start with you. Who do you like in this tier?
Yeah, it's a tough tier. I think a lot of people like Sergio this week. A lot of people like Matthew Wolff. I'm going to drop down to the guy that I'm actually picking to win this week at 9,100, Bubba Watson. I like the form. I like the fact that he didn't go to the British Open because he had that. I think he had the contract tracing with COVID and had to go into the protocols, but played really well at Rocket Mortgage. And what I like was the shot gains approach there, 5.3 gain there, really good tee to green. You go back a week before that, or tournament before that, to Travelers. He gained over 5 shots tee to green. I think this is a good course for him. Bomber's course. You want a guy hits it far. You worry about a little about the water. It's funny we talk about this being a birdie fest in Bomber's course, but there are like 27 bodies of water or something on the course, and there's a lot of double bogeys. But I like the way Bubba's playing right now. I like the week off. I like him at 9,100 more than the guys that are priced above him.
Okay.
Well, I put a little star by Bubba's name
nice.
just as I fill out my lineup. So since you did hit Morikawa last week, I got to ride the hot hand. So Grillo is starting to put it together. I mean, we started watching him a bit on the podcast this summer. Quietly 12th place at the Open. Just a guy that just suddenly appears on the rise. Good all around game. I flagged him, and I agree with you. I think Sergio will be very popular out of this tier. But Bubba is very interesting, and so I think Scott has talked me into it. I'd Grillo circled, but Bubba, that's a compelling case.
How do you guys feel? How you guys feel about Bobby Mack coming off the really good performance at Royal St. George's?
I mean, I'm impressed. I like his game. I know that. Did he play in Scotland the week before? I'm looking. I don't know if I have that information, but I don't want to have anyone that's played 3 weeks in a row. Like, especially I don't want anyone that did like quad, did Iowa, then jumped over to Great Britain, then came back. And so that rules out a couple of players for me in this. Like Dylan Fratelli, I'm not going to touch, even though he, obviously had a great tournament. But
MacIntyre finished 18th at the Scottish Open.
So this is 3 weeks in a row, and it's a lot of traveling. That might be a red flag for me, but that's totally narrative based though too.
Very, very odd he's playing this tournament. He qualified based on how well he did in the Open Championship and then decided to play. I think it just seemed odd for a guy like that to come over and play this event, but maybe he certainly played well. And I mean, he made the cut on the number and then had a really good weekend. He's an interesting rising guy right now, but I think I still go Bubba in this range. Maybe
it's just a little bit of self-confidence. He's like, Hey, I'm playing well. This is a chance for me to make some money. Got to make that paper. He's still establishing himself in his career a little bit compared to some of these other guys.
It's very true.
I don't know. I kind of like him. I kind of like him a little bit there. We'll see. I kind of talked myself into him. We'll see how that works out. That's always usually great. Let's move on to the next tier. Richard Fowler is at 89. Keegan Bradley, 88. Stuart Sink, 87. Patton Kizzire, 86. Lucas Herbert, 85. Maverick McNeil, 84. Dylan Fratelli, 83. Charles Schwartzel at 82. Luke List, 81. And Gary Woodland Creatures at 8,000. Jeff Ritter, what do you think?
I'm starting with Luke List here. Couple straight top 5 finishes. Didn't jump across the pond, so just kind of playing a domestic schedule. Fits the profile of a big hitter and someone who can play aggressively and maybe rack up some birdies. I like him as a value play here. I know you're expecting me to say Ricky Fowler, but I am not. I am in fact going with Luke List off of this tier, and I also find Schwartzel still to be interesting. Another guy that we have propped up on this show from time to time this summer. Schwartzel's interesting to me at that price.
It's an interesting range. I have Luke List highlighted too, just based on the back-to-back top 5s. Gained a ton tee to green and approach at Barbasol. He finished 4th at John Deere. Before that, gained a ton tee to green too. He's a bomber. Fits this course well. The other 2 guys in this range I do like that I'm thinking about. I think Keegan Bradley's interesting here. I know he missed the cut at the British by a shot, so he probably got an earlier flight back. But he has missed 3 or 4 cuts. But you look at some of the stats, hitting the ball really well, really good on approach and tee to green at Rocket Mortgage, really good on approach at Travelers. So he missed the cut, but just putted badly. Kind of went back to old school Keegan not being able to putt. But I think it's a nice little bounce back spot for him here. I like the play there. And then Lucas Herbert's interesting. And we talked about last week, Morikawa was a big win for me, but Lucas Herbert was a loss. I had him on a number of rosters. I liked him at the price. He's up to 8,500 this week, but missed the cut last week, did not play well, went 70-73. But he was really good 4 in a row before that. Played really well in Europe. He was fourth at the Scottish Open, first at the Irish Open, and then had a couple of good performances on the PGA Tour. So I think I'm going to look at him. I think he's probably my third in the group, though. I think it's Keegan and List, and probably drop down to Herbert, maybe on a few rosters.
I kind of like Kazire a little bit. I don't. Maybe it's a feeling. I don't know. It's played well at Colonial earlier this year. Obviously, John Deere, he was 11th. Rocket Mortgage 25th. Then he had a kind of a walk in the wilderness. But prior to that, he had a couple of thirds. He seems to me like the type of guy that if he gets hot, he's one of those gets hot, could string together a bunch of birdies type of guy. And then at a weaker field, I kind of like it as maybe an opportunity for him to strike.
Yeah, I mean, he's played well. I have no problem with that. He's played back-to-back tournaments really well. I think that he's fine in that range.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't underwhelming silence. So at least it was okay.
Reflective. It was a reflective silence.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Before we tackle the vast middle, let's plug in a little spot from our advertisers at Blue Wire. Righty there. That's a couple of seconds there from Blue Wire. Thank you for that. Let's jump into the 7,000s here. Again, too numerous to kind of go individually, so let's just go by halves. 79 to 7,500. Scott, you go first this time. Who do you like?
I love the 7,000s again this week. I liked the 7,000s last week. Some of them worked out really well, some didn't, but I love it again. If we're going to go 7,500 above, there's 3 guys in this range that I will be playing on lineups. The first is not a surprise. Anybody knows that I love him. I love him a lot. Is Jhonnattan Vegas at 7,500. I love him on Bombers courses. He was 11th last tourney at John Deere, gained 5 shots gained on approach. He's made 7 straight cuts, 3 top 11s last 5 weeks. The guy that's been like creeping up the leaderboard and showing up on Sundays in contention, which I really like, and I think is a good course fit for him. The 2 other guys here, I like Stanford's own Patrick Rogers, 5th at Barbasol, gained 4 shots off the tee. He's gained off the tee in 6 straight weeks. Love that, and of course that we want guys to hit the ball far. Gained huge on putting last week, which always scares me a little bit, but I like where his game is rounding into form right now. And my third in this range, a guy we talked about 3 weeks ago as a sleeper and has kind of been climbing up the charts, is Mito Pereira, the guy off the Korn Ferry Tour. Hit it really well the last 2 weeks. He finished 5th at Barbasol, kind of very hidden because everybody's watching the Open Championship. He gained 10.6 shots tee to green, 5.1 off the tee, 3.2 on approach. He was 34th at John Deere the week before, gained really well on tee to green off the tee that week too. We saw the miscut. We saw the 34th. We saw the 5th, getting comfortable on the PGA Tour. I like him to have a chance to maybe win this week.
Love it. Pereira, you switched you locked that one in when he earned his Battlefield promotion earlier this year, and the progression is hard to ignore. And he feels underpriced to me as someone who might be figuring it out, as he was such a winner on the minor league circuit. So I circled him, and I agree. Jhonnattan Vegas, to me, jumps out of this tier for all the reasons Scott said. He's a power player, aggressive player, but surprisingly consistent this year. That's the thing. When you talk about a player with a power game who's, kind of in that next tier or 2 down from elite on the PGA Tour, usually that is associated with inconsistency. But he's actually a cut-making machine this year. He's got 12 of 13. So I like Vegas a lot. I like him at 60 to 1. I like him at 7,500 on the DraftKings game, and it's tempting. I probably won't take him in one and done, but he's certainly he has my full attention this week as someone to do well on the weekend in Minnesota.
How about Hank Lebioda? Really good recent form, 7,900, easy to fit into a lineup. Yeah,
good putter. That fits that profile. If you want to go the other side instead of the Bombers. He was kind of my third behind Mito and Johnny was in fact Lebioda. So I like him a lot too. You can do it. You can make a pretty good lineup out of the 7,000s this week. Grab one guy off the 10s and there you go.
It's weird he's under 8,000 this week, considering how good he's been. But it's actually a fade for me this week. I think it's going to be very, very popular. And I just I don't love the fact that he's 3 top 10s in a row, but it's all been putting based. And maybe he stays hot with the putter and turns out great. But lost strokes off the tee 3 straight weeks, really riding that putter. I like to jump off guys who are riding the hot putter maybe a week, sometimes a week too early, but I hate it when I'm a week too late on those. So 7,900, I think he'll be very popular. And I'm actually off this week. So I'm kind of fading the chalk on that one.
How about Doug Gim, 7,900? He's always seems to be like a trendy guy when it comes to DFS.
Finally hit it really well last week. We loved him early on in the year. He's really gaining on approach and tee to green. He gained 7.7 shots in approach at John Deere last time he played. Yeah, I mean, if he could putt well at all, and he can kind of keep that ball striking up, I think he's pretty live there. I like Pereira, Rogers, and Vegas a little more, but Gim's definitely in my roster mix consideration.
All right. Now, that's a lot of guys in the first half of the 7,000s. Still a lot more to go in the second half here. Jeff Ritter, 7,000 to 7,400. Who do you like?
Not as excited about this part of the 7,000s. I really like the mid range where we were. Scott Stallings, he's made a couple cuts in this event. It's third time it's been held at this course. I'm trying to figure out why he withdrew from the Barbasol, just undisclosed, but maybe a value there. I guess maybe the other guy, where'd he go? Oh, of course, I got to continue to plug Sepp Straka.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Matt Kuchar. This has backdoor top 10 written all over it for Sepp Straka, but I think I would prioritize more Mito and Jhonnattan Vegas myself off this tier.
There, Kuchar and his doppelganger, playing style doppelganger, are within $200 of each other too. So you got that going for you.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with the Austrian
version,
the Austrian remake over the original Matt Kuchar this week. I don't know. Kuchar seems a little bit lost in the wilderness this year. I would still, even though that's a very, very cheap price for a player of his track record, I'd still stay away.
I believe they should be paired together just to kind of make it all happen. Scott, what about you? Do you like anybody in this range?
I do. I'm like Jeff, where I like the 7,500, 8,000 more, but there are a couple of guys down here. There's one I really, really like, and the first one I love is Kyle Stanley at 7,300. Made 7 straight cuts, just hitting it great. He's putted terribly. I do get that. He's lost strokes on putting like 6 weeks in a row, but you look at his ball striking. He's gained tee to green and approach 6 straight tournaments, and 4 of those he gained a lot too. Like he was among the elite in approach and tee to green in those last 6. I think he's just hitting the ball really well. If we get just an average putting week from him, I think we could be looking at a top 15, top 20. I love guys like that like just need that average putting week. Don't even need to putt great. Just putt average. You do really well. You give me down at 7,300. I love that price. My other guy down here I don't like as much, but just to mention, so you have some options down here. Bo Hoag is playing really. Is it Hoag or Haig? I always mess that up. Anyone know?
I don't know.
I think it's Bo. I think it's Bo Haig, actually. Bo Hoag sounds too alliterative, really. But Bo Haig.
Much like Boss Hogg.
It does. 7,100, finished 11th at Barbasol. Actually lost strokes putting too, so hit it really well. Gained 6.8 on approach. Gained 11 tee to green. Hit it really well at Rocket Mortgage 2 tournaments ago too. Gained 6.2 on approach in that tournament. He's gained approach and tee to green in 3 straight tournaments. Made 3 straight cuts. And at 7,100, you gotta find something you like there. And I think he's hitting the ball well enough that maybe he sticks out a little bit to me here. I'll probably have him in some lineups.
All right, let's go dumpster diving. If you want to do a stars and scrubs, anybody you like in the 6,000s?
I keep Mitchell. He's up and down, all or nothing, but he's got the power game that this could be an on week for him if you're going to take a shot. And then I also circled. I've been watching Vincent Whaley as Scott has single-handedly promoted his career through the Gaming Golf podcast. That seems like a good price, especially in this type of field for a guy who's consistently making cuts and starting to, pop up here and there in the top 20s or so. Those were the 2 guys I circled, but I would still prefer to do most of the roster from that 7,000 tier and not go below that unless I have to.
These guys always come with a little bit of warning. They're in the 6,000s for a reason, but there's 2 guys down here that I think I'm going to delve into a little bit as I kind of build some lineups. The first is Kevin Tway. He's finished top 30 the last 3 weeks, 26th, 23rd, and 14th. Some of that's been a little kind of a hot putter, but last week he gained shot gains across the board on all the metrics: tee to green, off the tee, approach, around the green, and putting. Played really well last week at Barbasol. Finished 26th. So 3 state top 20s, maybe enough here to maybe get me on him 6,600. And the other guy is someone we talked about 2 weeks ago who made the cut, and he's down at 6,100 and ball striking really well. He has gained shot gains and approach in 4 straight weeks. 3 of those were among the elites, gained really, really well. Off the tee to green, 3 straight weeks too. Off the tee back-to-back weeks is Michael Gellerman, 6,100. He was really cheap 2 weeks ago. I played him. He made the cut, kind of faded on the weekend. Last week he did not make the cut, putted really badly. I actually had a couple bets on him for a couple bucks at a really long price, but putted really badly. But you give me a guy that's going to hit the ball that well off the tee, that well tee to green, that well in approach. At 6,100, you can really get guys in if you get someone down that low. I think he's a really nice punt play this week.
Yeah, if you do a couple of even 2, you could probably fit 2 5-digit guys or Sergio if you want. Otherwise, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, there's a couple of different things you can do there. So, and I was just trying to find a way to force that in.
For sure.
I have no shame in doing so.
It was, you got it. You got it there. It happened.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on and talk about our betting sheets here. Jeff, start with you.
Grillo, 35-1. Why not? Player on the rise. Feels like maybe it's the time. Game's coming together. I got to get odds on Reed. I forgot to write that down.
16.
I'll take a shot there. And Scott and I are aligned and confidently aligned on Jhonnattan Vegas. So I'm putting him. I'm going to go all the way and 60-1. Why not? Those are my three spots.
All right, Scott, your betting account is flush with some of that sweet Morikawa money. Are you going to just press it on the 3M Open?
I'm not pressing it, but I will have a number of bets this week. This is one of those weeks where I really like DJ, but I'm not betting him. I'm not betting anyone in a golf tournament to win at 7-1. Who knows we're going to get. I love him in DraftKings. I think he'll be in contention, but 7-1, I'm not doing. One of those weeks where I'm going to bet more guys, but guys at longer odds. I'm not really taking anybody at the top of the board here. I think Finau and Reed's odds just a little too low for me. I'm going to start with Bubba Watson. 35-1. We'll definitely have that bet in. I really like that price. I think I'm going to drop down and put a few bucks on 5 different guys that are 60-1 and above. Jhonnattan Vegas 60-1, Luke List 65, Kyle Stanley 70, Mito Pereira at 70, and Patrick Rogers at 80. I think those 5 guys, you're going to get a couple runners on Sunday. They're going to be in the mix on the front page of the leaderboard. It's hard to figure out which ones are going to be, so I'm going to throw down on those 5 guys. Hope that I get a couple of guys that are really live on Sunday, battling with Bubba at the top of the leaderboard.
All right, very good. And finally, one and done. Let's go, Scott. I think you kind of already hinted at who you're going to go, but go ahead and say it for the record.
Yeah, I have him available, so I'm going to go Bubba Watson this week. I've done well in betting this year, not done well in one and done. I've just been off guys. I had Patrick Cantley last week. Finally used him. He missed the cut. Played terribly. Walking his grumpy ass around the course for 2 days. It was terrible. But Bubba Watson is going to be my one and done. I think he's got a really good shot to win this week. It's going to be a matter of probably how well DJ plays and and how well Louis plays. But I like Bubba. Got him available, so I'm going to go there.
I've got Patrick Reed available, so I'm going to take it. But it is tempting. I think the flags are out for beware. The off-brand winner.
Yeah.
I think Scott's strategy of placing some smaller bets in that 50 to 60-1 range is very. I think that's a tempting way to go because, as he said, you're going to have a few of those guys in the mix on Sunday. It would seem. But I'll go with the name brand one and done because I just need something good to happen in this one and done pool. My luck has also been miserable, so I'm going Patrick Reed.
Yeah, and it's nice if you don't bet a top guy, you can sprinkle a few more of those bottom guys in there. I just think I feel like you. I think it's gonna be a week where one of those guys is gonna end up winning this tournament. But Jeff, who's your one and done?
So I've got both DJ and Louis available, but I'm sitting around 20th overall. Do I need to make? The question is, do I want to go off brand and try to be unique from everybody else, or do I just go with who I think is the best case?
What is Louis' schedule probably look like the rest of the way? Does he come and play? He plays the FedEx Cup, right? So he'll be
because he's not doing the Olympics specifically for the FedEx Cup. So I'm going to probably
WGC.
WGC in 2 weeks, right? So I just didn't know what his schedule's looking like. But yeah, I have him still available too, and he won't be high percentage because everybody used him last week, right?
Weren't there 11 Louis last week?
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah, so no one, very few people have him left probably.
So I've got Louis in there right now is who I've got. And I'm going to hang the DJ for later. But we'll do that. I don't know. That's my lean right now. If I go off brand, I'm going Bobby Mack though.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I might have to do now that you set it out. Now you put it out in the universe. You might regret not going that way
If you don't do it, put $5 on him to win.
Yeah, I might just do Bobby Mack. I'm leaning in that direction now because there will be people using Louis. There are people that haven't used him yet, I'm pretty sure. And then I can still use Louis later. Bobby Mack's the pick. I've changed it. There you go.
Like it.
Yeah. Good count. Thanks, counsel. Yeah. So
and you guys are both lefties, so that works well too.
Yeah, it does. It does at that. You are what's the name of the band the group of guys that Ted Lasso used for Diamond Dogs? You guys are my Diamond Dogs there when it comes to one and done. So there you go. Ted Lasso comes back up on Friday. Super pumped for that.
If nobody's watched season 1 of Ted Lasso, go do that. Drop what you're doing. Go do that tonight.
Immediately, definitely. Meanwhile, Olympics are next week. We will not be podcasting next week, so you can do your own research for that if you want to find a way to play. But you can bet on that.
We'll be rooting for Sung J.M. though.
Yeah, so that way he can be on tour a lot longer.
Yep.
Or Siwoo Kim for that matter.
Siwoo
Kim's up against it. It's time for him. Him at least has time. All right, that's going to conclude the 3M Open preview. Thanks for watching and listening. Have a great day.